Hi guys, this is Ravensleep45 and today we'll be continuing on with the Occult Crescent. And prior to my recording initially, I forgot to mention where you need to go to get the last note to unlock the next portion of the quest. As to where the note is, it is in X16 Y29. So once you get the note, just return back to the base camp and you can continue the quest line. So with that, let's head back to our regular scheduled recording. Alright, we're back at base camp. Now let's talk to Archive so we can continue the quest line. And as for the next quest, it is Pass and Crescent. More explore ruins. Share with me all that you saw. A towering edifice of an interlocking stairway. Hearing your account is already chipping away at the seal. You adventurer has stumbled across a palace modeled after the city of Kanak. Is this true, Artorius? I don't know, maybe. The brave warrior of Kanak outfitted themselves with a magnificent turbans and The brave warriors of Kanak outfitted themselves with a magnificent turbans and arsenals of arcane weapons. Their martial prowess once held together of a mighty state. Well, I never heard of these Kanak. Was it another civilization that flourished in the 5th Astral Era? Indeed, though they are rival of the 12 city-states in terms of the prestige and power, neither nor they have history survived the ages. A truly lamentable end, if you ask so myself. Another fallen civilization just like the others. To be honest, Archive, I'm kinda curious. How did they perish? It must have been happening at some point during my great slumber. I'm afraid I have no knowledge to impact. How might be an opportune moment for a question? I'm afraid to ask. How did the nation of the 5th Astral meet their end? Well, about that. The War of the Magi is how their civilization ended. As the name suggests, the city-state turned their magic against one another. The ensuing conflict claimed countless souls, wreaking havoc with the lands of their balance. It is a catastrophic flood that eventually swallowed the entire nation whole. Brought by the low same arcane power that propelled them into such great heights. Even for my slumber, there are those who decide to rampart the misuse of magic. It pains me to hear that our warnings went unheeded. It was likely the War of the Magi, or the following 6 Umbo calamity that spelled the end of the Kanak. All that's left is their legacy, right here in the Occult Crescent. Precisely, the land's architect. It was he who foresaw the catastrophe sought to preserve the facet of each nation with these empty monuments. That's right! He! Who in the 7th hell is this architect? For that, I do not know. Alas, I'm constrained once again by this imperial seal. If you were to locate a personal possession of his, or perhaps... Yes, that might do it. Why don't you try wrangling with a powerful void scent? When the Makai mages call forth a denizens of the void, they would sign a pact with their summon in blood. It was with the architect that raised the island of void scent. He too may have followed the practice. A dangerous gambit to be sure. I believe obtaining such contract will be our best shot in identifying him. Should you find a dispatched void scent, keep your eyes peeled, Taurus. Oh, don't you worry, Archive. I'll keep my eyes peeled for a void scent. The void scent contract, which the architect speaks, can be obtained from a specific critical encounter. Speak with the expedition advisor to wish to learn how to participate in critical encounters.
Alright, so now I need to find a void scent in order to continue the quest line, which I'm not sure where to start because there's no indicator on the map. Alright, so now I need to find a particular void scent contract, which I'm not sure how to get one, so hopefully I'll find one real soon. So with that being said, I'm gonna make a jump cut to when I eventually find one. And we're back! So after looking around in the Occult Crescent, I actually found out where you get the void set contract, and apparently it's from a fate, which would be something I would have known ahead of schedule because I did a couple of fates of that earlier, which would have been nice beforehand, but unfortunately I couldn't do anything about that. And here's the void set contract, and you probably noticed all the other Doritos of the demi material needed for your relic weapon. So as for these things, they weren't too bad to acquire. But then again, not all of them drop right away, so it's going to be quite a bit before you actually get what you need, depending on which one you're missing. Although, if you do it outside, it is more of a guarantee, so you can actually farm which you're lacking. But, at least for the first step of the relic weapon, you don't need to get multiple of these for all your other weapons, which is very nice. Because, can you imagine, you need like 6 sets of this damn material in order to get another weapon. That would be a complete nightmare, if you ask me.
So, with that out of the way, oh yeah, there was also the one I want to point out. So, for the critical engagement I was talking about, it's the one that spawns right here, and I can't remember the requirements to have it pop, but I think it's like one of the fates here, so I guess just do a couple of them, and eventually the one here will start appearing. So, once you've done that, get your item and head back to base camp. So, since I already have it, let us talk to Archive. I am convinced a void sent contract will provide a strongest conduit for accessing more of my knowledge. You an eye out for what we need once you have fell your mark.
About that mark, I already have it.
Ho-ho! Down with the blood of the island's architect himself. This will do nicely. With the seal further diminished, I can review what I knew from all along. The architect was fearful for something to be stolen, and thus employed Voicent to guard his monuments.
Wardens for his museum, eh? Perhaps the magical bear surrounding the isle is intended to do the same defensive purposes. Projecting mirages, repelling all approaches, and for the ill-fated ship that didn't make landfall, a swift end. What do you reckon our architect wanted to protect so fiercely?
It was
the very wisdom of mankind in crystalline form, forbidden knowledge so potent as to threaten the star itself. Wait, what do you mean about that, Celine?
sealed away in the 4-foot tower, preserved but forever out of reach.
You ominous little upstart! That was my explanation to give, not yours. The peak of the 5th astral civilization is preserved here in the Isle, but the city-state left a blighted legacy, sparking the War of the Magi, and unleashing disaster on the world. But I suppose the architect balked at the loss of all that knowledge, but feared what would happen will pass into the wrong hands.
It is very understandable because he doesn't want to recreate the tragedy from long ago. That's if the architect is still alive at this point. A full head of facts, and I figure along the server as a thinker, no practical purpose. Only ones applied to the direct his knowledge is truly ascendant.
And just like that, Celine is gone.
A spiteful barb directed my poor self, no doubt. The wall of my knowing made things yet recalling a few, of mastering the arcane arts, yet being incapable of thus simpling spell.
Tell me, Artorias, does the knowledge seal away in that tower she spoke of pique your interest? Well, Archive, you must know. In the right hands it will prove a boon to mankind, which was very true. I would merely seek to prevent its misuse. I do love both these responses, but I have to pick one. You know what? Let's go with the second response. Well, if you want my honest opinion, I would merely seek to prevent its misuse, if nothing else.
I see.
And if that is the case, D. Rickon will find the architect himself inside the Fork Tower. Tis a possibility, though there are in fact two towers in the Isle. The Tower of Blood and the Sound Horn, and its northern counterpart, the Tower of Magic.
Given that we're dealing with a mage capable of casting an Iron Wild Ward, I dare say he'll be in the latter. You seem to know awful lot about these towers. Did the Tower of Ye Knowledge get unsealed too? Indeed, although in truth, I have known of such matters all along. You are but starting at a glimpse of my infinite wisdom.
I don't know about that one, Archive. Any road, we need to find a route through the Northern Horn. The expedition will maintain a presence here in the base camp, but it's time to begin planning the next phase. Join me in the Phantom Village when you're ready, Taurus. Oh, don't you worry, Katarama, I'll be there real shortly after I deal with things here in the Occult Crescent. What? Are you sure? Wait, what? You have to believe us. Indeed, it is true. Alright, thank you guys. Oh, Artorias! Just had an update from our scouting party. Let me take a wild guess. Did one of your scouting parties actually find an entrance to one of the towers? I'm guessing you've noticed a strange aurora that lit up the sky every now and then. Well, there's a tower to the west that only shows up during those conditions. And our scouts say they have found a way in. Ring any bells? Well, about that, we were trying to find the entrance to one of those towers and your scouting party just so happens to find one for us. Wait a minute. You don't mean the Blood Tower, eh? Sounds to me we're talking about the very same structure. Any road, when it's visible, an interior note appears in the Solar Pavilion over to the heat cliff. The scouts reckon it will risk you off to the tower if you stand on it. None of them face trifling with it, so if you're curious about what lies inside the Tower of Blood, you have to investigate it yourself. Right, that's all for me. When you head back to the Phantom Village, make sure Katarama hears about all of this. Oh, don't you worry, I'll let him know about everything regarding the entrance that the scouts found. And just like that, Pass and Crescent is now complete. The Fork Tower Blood now accessible. And of course we get more notes regarding the architect of the island. Fork Tower has now been added to the Occult Crescent guide. Alright, so I can actually start doing the Blood Tower now, but unfortunately we don't have the condition to enter yet, so most likely I'll just do another recording for that one in the later future. Alright, let's head back to the Phantom Village to talk to Kataraman. And we're back, and Kataraman is right next to the fountain along with Archive. Alright, here we are, and let us talk to Kataraman to see what is the next quest line. And then the next one is Mysteries Abide. Well, you don't say. That's all well and good, but we're really unsettling on following Archive's hunch and focusing on the counterpart of the Northern Horn. Although, besides, I am reluctant to send a crew to investigate. There's no telling what's inside. Well, you do make a good point. Well, that being said, I won't get in your way if you're mine to satisfy your curiosity. Wait, you mean that? Thanks, Kataraman. Well, with the villages and the base camp secured now, as good as any time to regroup and plot our next move. Of course, the fact remains, we're trapped on this rock for the foreseeable future. I, for one, won't consider this success until the whole crew is back in drill, drinking their fill in XVR. Not to mention, we have yet to uncover the architect's true identity, and we're still curious as to why we haven't encountered any survivors. We have ways to go on the mysteries of solving front. In the meantime, I want you to travel back to Truro and give progress report to the expedition manager. Oh, don't you worry, I will do that, God Ramen. I'll get the word to you as soon as we establish a route to the Northhorn. Until then, take care, my friend. Same to you, Kataramen and Archive. Alright, so let's pull up my map real quick. And it's at the pier. Okay, so let's need to go back there. And here we are, back in Royal. Man, it would be really cool though if you couldn't escape the Occult Crescent and you're stuck there until you actually solve the problem before you can actually leave the island. But of course, I'm pretty sure that I'm not gonna do that route. But, is what it is, I guess. Well, anyway, let's talk to Mr. Expedition Messenger over here. As they live and breathe, you make it back, Taurus. But what of old Kataramen and the rest of the crew? Yeah, about that. They're apparently stuck on the island. So they're stuck there? Heavens! The island sounds more perilous than a straight triangle. At least you're able to establish a foothold somehow. I imagine you wanted to rest up and recover the energies for what's to come. I will sure not keep you any longer. And just like that, Mysteries Abide is now complete. Highly Crestified. God damn it, that name of that achievement. Thank you guys for watching this recording session for Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail, the Occult Crescent questline. If you have any comments, you can put them down below the video as well. And if you like this video, please click the like button, it is very much appreciated. If you're curious for future projects, you can check out my YouTube channel. If you like the content being uploaded there, you can probably subscribe. If not, that is alright. But if you're going to, don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notified for future videos in the near future. And as always, I have 3 projects which are continuing on my channel, which are Final Fantasy XIV Raid, Trial, MSQ, Progress, Job Quest, Millions Pounds, or anything that are related to Final Fantasy XIV. Secondly, would be my 2 gachas, which are FGO and A for the Lost Belt, whichever the case might be at this point. Secondly, would be my Honkai Star Rail for the Trailblaze Continuance, the companion missions, and the banners will be coming real soon for HSR, especially for Saber Artorias, which will be my main banner I'll be rolling for. Guaranteed, unless something else comes up along the way. I really hope it doesn't be the case. And lastly, to say the least, Persona 5 The Void. And with that, this has been Raven Sleep 45. Take care, stay safe, and have a pleasant Final Fantasy 14 day.